I mean, you always forget things. When I was, because when you do a job, you're like, oh, how does this really associate? And for me, I forget things all the time.
Yep.
Today, actually, the Valentines Day, the 14th and the 15th, have got delivery to the beach. If you're yearning for any kind of special something to eat or whatever, it's a good.
Well, you could really test Uber Eats in this, couldn't you? You could say, towels. People forget towels.
Yeah.
Sunscreen.
Yeah, sunscreen.
Can you bring my togs for me, please?
Are we paying these people to front up, or are we paying them to fly to Wellington to eat their lunch? Should you really lose your career for refusing to take part in a 90-minute lesson about Māori culture? This government doesn't actually have any idea how to get economic growth. Show us what you made of, Prime Minister.
Editor-in-Chief with Duncan Garner.
Okay, welcome to the program. You are with the Editor-in-Chief.
Duncan Garner, live.
Great to have your company, folks. Nice to have you along. Welcome. Evening, everybody. Tonight, we have Kiwi royalty with us in the studio. Incredible. The wonderful former supermodel all the way from the G Field on Auckland's North Shore, Rachel Hunter. Wow. From supermodel to marrying Rod Stewart, having 2 kids, and now, of course, she is a grandmother and also a yoga teacher. Lives in LA and is here every now and then. She's here in New Zealand right now to promote Uber Eats and the new delivery service, which for the next 2 days, you can order any item within reason to a beach you're at. Within reason. A beach you're at within reason. It means Rachel is home, where it all began, of course, and she will join me shortly. Get in touch with our social media at Duncan Garner Podcast on TikTok, Instagram, or flick me an email at duncan@rover.nz. Let's go.
Duncan Garner, live.
So why wait when Rachel is here with us in the studio? Welcome, Rachel, to the podcast, and welcome to the studio.
Thank you.
So, so you've come back for not for long. To promote some stuff with Uber Eats?
Well, I've been here actually since January, and then this job came along, and I've worked with Uber Eats before a few years ago, and I of course I jumped at the chance because I mean, who doesn't use this? And they've got a really great today actually the Valentines Day, the 14th and the 15th, have got delivery to the beach, which they are delivering sunscreen, like any of the kind of things that you need at the beach. You can kind of get ordered, which is like in Auckland, Wellington, Christchurch, and some of the coastal towns. So
yeah, you have to be careful you're not too remote.
Well, yeah, exactly. yeah.
So those main beaches you can...
Main beaches, yeah, and some of the coastal ones that obviously, but yeah, I think it's a. I mean, you always forget things. When I was, because when you do a job, you're like, oh, how does this really associate? And for me, I forget things all the time.
Yep.
So this would come in very handy for me. I'd be like, oh God, I got to get a bottle of water, but you're already down there, and so
you can't be bothered going to the dairy.
Well, there's always a dairy close by, right? But if you're yearning for any kind of special something to eat or whatever, it's a good.
Well, you could really test Uber Eats in this, couldn't you? You could say, towels. People forget towels.
Yeah.
Sunscreen.
Yeah, sunscreen.
Can you bring my togs for me, please?
I know. I mean, who knows if you get a swimsuit ordered down there.
And so, is it just a trial because it's over a couple of days and it's too hard to continue, or are they looking at something long term?
I don't know what the answer is to that. I know that this activation is obviously through the Valentine's Day and the 15th. But yeah, I mean, look, it doesn't surprise you, right? I mean, of course, there's going to start being deliveries to the beach. So hold this space. Let's see.
It's been when you look at the rise of Uber Eats, delivery services like that. It's been revolutionary, eh? I mean, it's changed lives, isn't it?
Yeah, it has, because I mean. It was very big. I was in various locations during COVID, and obviously they did keep that going, and it was almost like our point of contact was somebody that was different too.
That was it.
Yeah, so it was, they kind of also were our exchange to somebody else that wasn't so-called in our bubbles as well. So yeah, it's an amazing brand. As far as sometimes when you're by yourself or you're in a location working, you don't want to go out to dinner and you just want to stay in. I mean, it's the best thing. That can be dangerous, but it's still good.
But like whoever came up with it, it's like it's a mastermind thing, right? And people try to copy it and everything, but it's the reliability I find. It's the service, the reliability, and the consistency. And
the variation too, because I think it's really important to be able to eat healthy too with this stuff. And I think with those restaurants, you're not just dialing into one restaurant, you're dialing into multiple. And so you do get to eat healthy if you want to, because you're given that option. So I think it's an amazing brand, obviously. I mean, God, who thought of that? Where are they?
I used it a lot when marriage broke up and had my son, he was at home with me all the time. And it's just, what am I going to do tonight? I left early in the morning and he'd be like, oh, I'll check.
Yeah.
So here he is, 7, just going,
yeah.
And eating healthy.
Yeah.
Because as you pointed out quite rightly, you choose what you like.
Look, and I also don't want to put away the fact that obviously cooking and being with your kids and being in that family environment, but sometimes with different scenarios, those things are stretched. And I think with companies, when you use these companies to the ability that is good for you, then this is what's beautiful about it, because you do get to spend more time with your kids. If you've got a kid on the beach and you don't want to leave because they're having the best time, so you kind of make it work for you.
Yeah. And all the excitement of what's going to be like.
Not undermining cooking too is very, very.
No, that's
good
crucial.
As well.
Yep. I wonder how overrun they'll be with it the next couple of days.
I know.
And how do you
really
identify?
excited.
Well, the beach is full of people. Let's say Mission Bay or whatever, and you go down there. I'm the guy with the brown hair. Oh yeah.
But we're so, if we've ordered something, there's no doubt we're standing up and you're looking at that tracking and you're going, that's where that person is. I mean, that's what's beautiful about it. Is you know where that is.
And that's the technology, and that's the, and they've constantly updated there. But they know, the number plate of the guy, so you're going to go, oh, that must be the guy. Yeah. There's the car. You can't get it wrong.
No, you don't. It's very, very smart.
Yeah. So you've been back in town since January. What have you been up to?
Yeah. So I've been, I have a place up north, and so I've been up there and, enjoying the summer. It was a bit windy at the beginning in January, I have to say. But this February, March is always pretty incredible in New Zealand, where the weather settles down a bit. Yeah. And we do talk about the weather a lot, but,
What is that about us?
Well, I think because it passes through quite fast, or it doesn't quite happen because...
It affects us, hey? But when you just said that, because I go up north too, I got a place, I go to the Hokianga.
Yeah.
And
great place.
Yeah, and so I got a boat, we always fish, we're always out and about in the wilderness. We couldn't go out. That wind, it really pissed me off this year.
I know. It makes you angry. Home. Yeah.
It does make you angry, so that's why we talk about the weather.
Yeah, it does. It's an emotional impact, because it does. I mean, actually, it's very funny, because when I was up in Hokianga
you go there?
Last year, I actually... where they boogie board down the hill, I decided to go for a hike, and I ended up in the bird colony.
Oh,
that was not good.
No. So you were on the sand.
Yeah,
dunes.
and I decided to go for a walk, and I was like, "Oh, this looks good." And there's some kind of caves somewhere over that area.
Back there.
Yeah. Well, I never found the caves. I found about 3,000 seagulls that were giving birth to their babies.
Oh, yeah, that's a colony. You've got to get out of there.
Well, yeah, I figured that out. It was literally like the movie Birds, and I tried to make myself as big as possible, and I got pretty much chased out of that by them. They're scary.
Yeah, no, I know. So we go camping. Where you were, just to the right, there's some native bush and a beach.
Yeah.
That's where we go. We go under there.
Wow.
Because our mates, that's local Māori, they got area, they get access in there. But we stay across the other side. Where were you staying? Were you staying in the area there?
Yeah,
been,
with near the pub.
Oh, you stayed.
Serafina.
That's my local. That's
right.
So that's right.
Serafina.
That's my local.
Serafina?
Yeah, no.
Do you know Serafina?
Pub, I don't know. I know of Serafina, but that's that pub there.
I know. It's my favourite place. I love there, sitting there. You go to the dairy next door. You can still order your Uber Eats, guys.
They have concerts there. They have concerts and the stuff. Yeah.
What I'm really bummed about is I remember speaking to Kerry, and we both were talking about the holiday park.
It's gone. So Kerry's in Kotu. Yeah. Yeah, and the holiday park's gone.
I'm really upset about that.
I know.
Who brought that?
Okay, so good question. That was bought by an Auckland property developer.
Oh God.
A guy called Swash, I think, and he said he's going to turn it into a gated community, which the locals, that area, the area, it's not a gated type community. It's poor. It's
a sense of Hokianga is a sense of community.
Totally.
And it is
small
not based off how big is your house. It's based off an incredible sense of exactly. Yeah. So gosh.
Oh, well, it's scary. Yes, he's not far from where we are, and that was a beautiful spot, eh?
Yeah.
And so you're heading off. You're heading off for the next few days. How often do you get back to New Zealand? Do you enjoy coming back?
I do. I really love coming back. I usually come back around August, September, and then again, I think more like looking at how things are, it's like coming back mid-January into March is really what I, about 3 months a year.
Yeah, when you come back. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And your grandmother?
Yeah.
How's that go? Yeah, I knew you smile
He's
at
so
that.
cute.
Yeah.
He's such, Louis is like, he's such a, it's, I think when you have grandchildren, it's like you do get to enjoy them, but at the same time you get to
hand them back.
But they kind of like inspire you to kind of have that, see the world as a child again, in an innocent way, So, yeah, he's an amazing little boy, and they're about to have their second baby now too. So, in March, which I won't be there for, but they're about to have their second.
I reckon, and after everything you've achieved in your life and everything you do, and the international side of everything, I look at life now, and so I'm 50 now, and I just think family is after everything. It's all. What am I trying to say? It's all the material things come and go, whatever, jobs and things. That's what matters. That's what's there at the end.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Like, your close friends, obviously your family. Absolutely. It's all that. And they go off and have their own lives as well, very much so. And that's important too, for them to really focus on their families and their life, and where you get to all meet in the middle, and that they'll always be there for you. But you also too can go off and have that second part of your life. And I mean, I'm single, so it's great. So I get to go and do what I want to do. I mean, as a really young mum, and the kids are really supportive, and they're really happy in their relationships and their families.
Is it a hard thing to know how much? Because my mum's really involved with us, and I just wonder, is it, as a grandmother, is it hard to know how much you should get involved, and overstepping the mark, and saying too much or not saying enough? Or, is it a hard one? I'm not there yet, you see. So.
No, I mean, I think what I've really learned is to honour that space where they are. There. It's not separate. It's just another way to see things. And I think that it's like, this is what I did with Renee and Liam, and like now it's going to be cool to see what you guys do with your kids, and leaving that open. And I'm always here, like whenever you need me, call me, I'm around, or whatever, and bouncing in, taking the grandkids whenever, and then kind of bouncing out. So I kind of just go with the flow with it.
I've always admired that about you, and from what I've seen from the outside, as a big sort of extended family, and which I'm part of as well in my life. It just seems everyone's happy, everyone's there, and no one's playing games. It just seems like it's really tight. It's big, but it's tight, and it's well run, and people are good to each other,
Yeah. No, I mean, everybody fluctuates. I mean, there's always going to be something that arises, but I mean, the thing is, you just talk it out or move on or whatever it is. Nothing's that big of a deal, really.
Single life's good, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
It's the new thing. I've got a couple of mates who are single, and I am too, and it's like, after having a marriage and everything, this is actually, I'm my own boss.
Yeah.
There's something really enlightening but empowering about it, eh?
Yeah. No, because I mean, I think too, when you've been in, I don't know, I mean, look, some people, somebody comes along and they're in a relationship, or but to me it's a really good friend of mine was talking about being content, and if you're content with that part of yourself, but you're still open to see if something comes in. But it's not what my main drive is, is relationships.
I agree. Yeah.
And so it's nice.
Because I remember when you and Rod broke up, you said something about, I'm going to have to get my not my life back, but you wanted to
I was
cut
so
your
young.
own path there,
Yeah. I mean, I already had cut my own path previously before that, but it was, I think, I mean, there was probably some maturity in some of my statements that were probably had some immaturity about them. But I think that it was more, it's that sense, and also it's that time period at 27 where you're like, who am I? Where am I going in my life? What am I doing?
I had my first child at 27.
Yeah.
I look back now, I look at the photos. I was so young.
Yeah. I know. It's like you're a baby.
It is like a 16-year-old having a child would be, that's young.
Yeah.
At 27 shouldn't be young, but I look back now and think, oh my God.
Yeah.
How did I cope, and how did we do it? But you do, right?
You do.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's so true.
And how's your yoga teaching?
So yeah, I went and got my yoga training in 2017 after my mum passed, and to kind of process the death. I never thought I was going to be a yoga teacher at whatsoever, and yeah, it just kind of went from there. And so I go around and do community events. I do workshops, kind of a bit of for everybody, so they don't. No one feels, oh, that's too expensive, or that's free, or
Is it
that's
going
whatever.
well?
Yeah, no. So it's going really well. Yeah, it's going
My
really
mate's a farmer, and he was incredibly stiff and tight and getting old, and he was playing rugby and all that stuff. Listen, the whole younger. He went to community yoga class. That came into Kohu Kohu, which is across from where you go.
Yeah.
And within a year, he was freely walking and his pain had gone. How's that?
Wow, that's
yoga
amazing.
makes a difference, eh?
It does.
The local guys already doing yoga, you know?
It's so gorgeous. I love Hokianga. I really do. Yeah.
Hey, and what about so the future? So you live in LA?
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, you're single. Do what you like.
Yeah, no, I don't look too much into the future.
Yeah.
Because it constantly changes pretty damn fast and nowadays.
And a lot of things you can't really. I don't worry about anything anymore because it's a wasted emotion.
Yeah, it is.
Life will be. Life can be horrific. Life can be fantastic.
Yeah.
You roll, right?
You do. You're totally right. And I think regardless of, you learn that. Like, you can make all these plans, but then something comes in and goes, whack, no, you're not doing that. And this is what this is what you have to deal with now. So you kind of do have to roll. I mean, it's always have a plan, but at the same time, things change.
Yeah, I've sort of, plans. Plans are difficult because you can have a plan, but plans are difficult because things change in your life that you can't control.
No, yeah.
So they throw your plan out.
Yeah.
You know, I sort of thought sometimes I have plans, but I sort of had them very loose now because it doesn't happen.
No.
Sometimes, no matter how hard you try to make something happen.
Yeah.
You know?
No, you do. Once that starts, I think that's true because when you're trying to make something happen, it's just not the time. But then there's something when it does happen and all of a sudden things just roll and you're like, oh, wow, this just got amazing.
It's interesting. I find talking to experienced people the best thing in life because they got stories, they got experience, they got something to say, And do you ever get lonely? Being single. Do you ever find there's it's so noisy but it's silent because it's lonely? Do you ever get that?
Look, there's times when not lonely as such, but it's more of an adjustment of going what you knew, and it's just a different phase. So it's like, when you kind of had your family, when you had someone that you were with, and so when we're by ourselves, it's kind of associated with this. We're by ourselves and we're lonely, and we're not we are in some ways we're all, the sense of community, a sense of connection is so important. And I think that there are moments that sometimes you're like, oh, I travel about by myself all the time. But I've kind of moved through that kind of thing where, I don't have the same familiar person to come home to.
Yeah.
Whereas I see everybody as that familiar person.
Yeah, I know.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But you've got used to that.
Yeah, I got used to it.
Do you get a lot of people coming up to you? Hey,
they're very sweet. Yeah,
New
it's
Zealanders
a
are.
really lovely. Yeah, it's like a big family almost.
New Zealand
family of 5 million. Yeah,
yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
it is.
Because you couldn't. Yeah, if I made you walk down Ponsonby Road right now,
It's
walk
just
2 k's
really
back.
sweet. Well, it's weird because I went into the shop and there was these girls. They were around 20, and they were like, oh. Rachel or whatever. And I was like, where did I pick up that audience, these 20-year-olds? And then I was thinking, oh, that's right, New Zealand's Got Talent, because these kids would have been 10.
Yeah, and you know what? They all watch the telly. Because that's...
Back then. Not so much now.
No, but now they watch the telly through social media.
Exactly.
So clips on Instagram. So they're always
clips.
getting it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I found that with a program I was involved in last year, Treasure Island.
Yeah.
And that...
How did you enjoy it?
Oh, yeah, I loved it. I was really nervous going into it. But I made the top.
Why?
I made the final. Well, how would I cope? I knew I'm very close to my son. I knew if I was going to be away a long time, I'd miss him.
How old is he?
He was 13 at the time.
Right.
And we're always together. So I was a bit worried a bit emotional about that initially, but then I used it as my drive because he wanted me to do well and everything. So I
you would have been
and it
proud.
was so I knew a lot of the people on there, through work and everything. But then you're in this environment, it's freaky.
Yeah.
But I loved it, and the longer I stayed, the better I got, and
Wow.
I was fine with being in the wilderness and being on my own and all that stuff. I could just
Yeah.
I've been to a war zone before, so I can just do this. You just got to get the end comes.
Yeah.
Just be patient, Don't
Yeah.
be desperate or anything. And so, the wonderful people, like they're all down to earth Kiwis, and I got top 6, but then I just couldn't hang on to this rope. I had to hang on to a rope, and I fell off it. So I was out.
Isn't that annoying just because of a rope?
They sent me. I was doing well, and I just couldn't hang on any longer. I did like 8 minutes. It was getting dark. It was freezing cold. The water was below me. I'm like, ah! And
Wow,
I was heavier than the other guy that was there, and I fell in.
And you fell in. And
Yeah.
that was why you had to leave.
Yeah, I was eliminated. Do you know what it taught me though?
What?
We didn't have phones for a month, so we were there 21 days. No phones. Had formed real friendships, real relationships.
Yeah.
We need to know about everything.
Yeah.
It's crucial.
I know. It's quite mind blowing when you go back, when you're put into those scenarios, and you realize that connection that we, in some ways, this society that we, in certain societies, where it's an individualistic kind of culture. It's very individual. We're very individual.
We
We're
used to know our neighbours, eh?
And I think that when I did Tour of Beauty, the biggest thing we realized in the longevity was, the sense of community is what kept a lot of people going, and so it is the connection, but we are out to strive for ourselves because it's competitive. I mean, look at the work situation.
So it's become meaner, hasn't it? A meaner society.
Yeah.
But a meaner society. Like we're more ruthless. Empathy is so crucial in life, if you don't have that trait, then...
Yeah, I mean, luckily most of us should have a little bit of it, but yeah, it's a very individual
dog eat dog.
Yeah, but and more that even just individual, just in normal, because we're kind of used to that instead of going either reaching out if we're feeling sad or feeling lonely, like you said, or going, I'd love you to come around. We just. Yeah, it's not.
We think it's a sign of weakness as well. Just before we wrap up, I was a young journalist at the North Shore Times Advertiser growing up.
I was talking about North Shore Times Advertiser today.
Oh yeah, and I got a call from a real estate agent who said, "Hey, I'm selling a house here, and I'm sure it's Rachel Hunter's family home because there's." Come and look at this, Duncan. There's 2 measurements in the pantry or by the door or whatever of your height. You and your sister.
My
must
sister.
have.
Oh
Do you
my
remember
God,
that
that's
doing
so.
that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a standard in every house, isn't it?
Of course it is.
It used to be.
Is it a New Zealand thing or is it?
I think it's New Zealand. No, I think it's a worldwide
It is
thing.
world. Okay.
Yeah.
You were tall. I mean, obviously, but it was, and you could see I think it was like 10 or 12 or whatever. You could really,
Yeah.
You
yeah.
can see how
Tall.
you went through your teens, eh?
Yeah. Oh no, yeah, there was some jumps.
And they put it on the front page of the paper. The house sold really quickly, I think. I don't know. That's from my memory. Hey, it's great catching up with you.
Oh, you too. Thank
yeah,
you.
Yeah, and travel well.
Please say hello to the Hokianga and Serafina and everybody up there.
Yeah.
I love that place.
Yeah,
not so much the bird colony though. I got to say.
I'm gonna stay away from that. But it's cool going down the.
Oh yeah.
See the caves you were looking for. It's actually a canyon. It's over. If you'd gone
canyon, yeah.
And you can take 4-wheel drives down there. So we go up and down there. And there's a secret. Not now.
Not now. Yeah.
There's
we'll
a lake.
Cut that out.
There's a freshwater lake in the sand dunes.
Wow.
And you go into it.
It's very special, that place. There's something very mystical, about it.
Well,
it's
that's where
really intense.
That's where Māori came in for the first time.
Yeah, you can.
You've been up the little mountain,
feel
Whittier.
that.
There's a little mountain there next to the pub, and that's the original power site.
Really?
Which where they held battle and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
No, it's
will
definitely
take you
been
there.
a place that I've been like, I'd love to come up there and have some. Well, Kerry and I were like, let's buy the holiday park. That would have been fun.
2.2 million.
Really?
That's what it went for. That block of land. They need to get Uber Eats in there.
I know they do.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I wonder if you could get Uber Eats to a beach there.
Hopefully it moves to just being a few houses or something, or goes back to being a holiday park.
You know, they've really felt it too, because without a holiday park, people don't come into camp.
Well, that's what I'm.
So thousands of people and all those dollars don't come into the.
Yeah.
Anyway, you've got a plane to catch.
Oh, no. Tomorrow. I'm leaving tomorrow. But anyway, but it's been lovely to talk to you.
Yeah,
and I love
you.
that you work for the North Shore Advertiser too, because that was
The
one of the
building's gone. They've smashed the building.
Interviews I did.
Did you? Do you remember who interviewed you?
I can't. I mean, I was 16 or something, so I don't know. But
Did they come to you, or did you go to them?
I think we did photos on the beach on Milford and stuff.
Take a bit of Milford.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll be familiar beaches to you. Eh?
Oh yeah.
Well, is that where you were? Were you first scouted there?
Scouted there, yeah.
At Milford.
Yeah. That's where we ended up doing that shooting. That's too,
So
just
good
for
going
the fun
back
part
there?
of it. Yeah.
Hasn't changed, eh?
No. My grandfather had a shop there in Milford. They had their family home where my mum grew up was in Shakespeare Road, so there's a lot of...
I know the history because I was at Westlake Boys, so my mate lived on Shakespeare. We always hung out there. We rowed down at the rowing club, and Mum always took us to. We lived in Birkenhead, but she always took us to Milford Beach.
Yeah.
And I asked her recently why, and she said because they had the big park, so you could go between beach and
beach
park.
and park, yeah.
Those things. Well, there was nothing else to do.
No. That's the best. Yeah, it's the best thing though. Running down to that beach on the weekends with your family.
How were you scouted? Did someone see you down there?
Yeah, it was just a photographer that saw me down there. Yeah.
Wow. Life changing.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Very much so.
You go. Nice to see you. Thank you, Rachel.
You too.
Okay.
Thank you.
Duncan Garner, live.
Wow. Isaac, I'm sorry. I grew up with Rachel Hunter. You know, she was a few years ahead of us, but we all knew who she was in the North Shore, supermodel, amazing. You know. Wow. Do you remember her? You're a bit younger, but you'll know the name.
Oh, I know the name. I can't say that she was a very defining part of my childhood, but I do know the name. Yeah. And no, it's cool to see her and cool to see what she's doing now.
Mate, she was like she was in her 20s when she married Rod Stewart, superstar, had 2 kids. Yeah. And but she's so down to earth.
Wow.
You know?
Yeah, she seems real chill.
As you'd expect. Kiwis a lot there. Yeah. Yes, I like her a lot.
Do you reckon you'll go to the beach and get some Uber Eats?
I don't know. What items would you leave? What items would you forget at the beach?
Well, see, to me, it's more like a meal. You know what I mean? Like you could be at the beach and then you'd order a meal, assuming it's within reason, because I assume a meal is within reason, right? But I know you can also pick up, I don't know, maybe sunscreen if you forget it, or like a towel or something like that.
Rugby ball?
But like,
cricket
if
set?
I was going, maybe cricket, maybe not. Maybe a rugby ball, depending on how expensive it is.
Well, cricket ball.
But,
try and pick up a cricket set at the warehouse for me, please.
Yeah, true. Good point, maybe.
A tent?
But like for me, if I was going out to the beach for a romantic dinner and somehow I forgot the food, being able
what
to,
sort of romantic
being
are
able
you?
to, and then being able to get it up Uber Eats, saved. Life-saving.
I forgot my girlfriend. Could you pick her up, please? I've been here alone for the last 2 hours. Could you bring me down 2 dozen beers, please?
Oh, good.
Yeah. Rugby ball. Could
He's
you
on it.
bring down my friends? I left them at home. Bring down my boat. I think they wouldn't. Yeah, but I think there'll be a few guys playing tricks with them, I reckon. But I wonder if this is the sort of thing that they might stick to over summer. It's a trial that they're trying to work out whether they can continue it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good idea. I mean, it makes sense.
Such a good service.
I mean, my other question is as well, what's stopping people from ordering Uber Eats to the beach anyway?
Because it's...
Do you know what I mean?
Well, because they need a physical address.
Yeah, but like, there are often like, beachfront houses. You could just order to that address and then just wait outside.
Stand outside, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but you can't. But you haven't been able to in the past order a softball set or whatever, or a towel.
Yeah, true.
So it's food.
Yeah, there you go.
Uber,
very special, very good.
Uber beach gears, whatever. I've got no togs, and if you don't bring them now, I'm going to go in the beach nude. We can't do that, do we? Okay, brother.
Uber Eats saving everybody with that one.
Yeah, saving everyone, all right.
It's the Slam Dunk.
This year, New Zealand will spend $42 billion on welfare. That includes more than half that's on New Zealand superannuation. By far, it's the biggest spend. More than anything else we spend on, welfare is the biggest one by a long shot. More than health, education, all that. Superannuation is the single biggest item of any spend in New Zealand. It's a sky tower compared to everything else, which is small. Superannuation paid to 909,000 oldies is our largest one item. Not means tested, and we are paying to millionaires. We pay New Zealand superannuation to millionaires, no questions asked. And while there are all sorts of benefits available, they're rightly asset means tested, because you shouldn't go paying welfare to rich people, should you? But we do. And I wonder if we've gone too far with our benefit system, if it covers far too many things. And this might have your eyes on stalks, because we're broke right now, yet we do all these things. I'll list them for you so you know. How can we afford all the luxuries when we're borrowing to live? I was, to put this sort of mildly or bluntly, gobsmacked at what us taxpayers pay for. Now, I don't know if I'll be telling you anything new here, but I think I probably will. So I'd like to get your reaction to this. You might be ignorant of the kind of things that we offer to low income and benefit New Zealand, people on the benefit New Zealand. These are in addition to sort of all these main benefits like the dole, which they no longer call the dole. They use more positive terms like job seeker benefit and the domestic purposes benefit, sickness benefit. This is on top of these benefits. Pity those on the job seeker benefit at a time when it doesn't seem there's a whole lot of work out. So they've got to go on the job seeker. That's all they can do. Hundreds of people applying for one job. They could be there for a while. Here's a list of things that taxpayers fork out for. And Isaac, I'll get your reaction actually after this. So working income pays for and helps pay for these things for beneficiaries and low income New Zealanders. Funerals. They put money towards funerals. Car repairs. Moving costs from going to a rental house bonds. We make payments to help those in international custody disputes. So if you're fighting to get your kid back, working income will help pay. Working income will even act as your personal guarantor when renting a house. And in the case of a dispute at the end of the tenancy, working income promises to pay any outstanding money agreed to by both parties. So they got your back. The benefit system will pay for beneficiaries to have counselling, to have dental work every year, so that every year they do some dental work, they get paid. It offers money for school uniforms, for stationery and for childcare costs. They'll also pay youth benefits. They'll pay the youth the costs associated with pregnancy and childbirth. They'll pick up urgent and unexpected bills for whiteware, furniture, medical alarms, glasses, travel, accommodation emergencies, power, gas and heating. If you need modifications to your car, they'll pay for that. Well, that's probably the right thing. ACC will be there too for you, I suppose. The taxpayer will even kick in $1,000 for your roof to be fixed, for your hot water cylinder to be replaced and fixed, new pathways at your house, fences or even retaining walls. Now, did I mention the free school lunches? That's also there, $170 million. It's not free. We're paying out, we as taxpayers. Although, yeah, possibly not getting the value for money that was promised. And this taxpayer-funded service gets its own vasectomies as well. Vasectomies get funded. No one's suggesting they chop that payment. Are they? Well, I couldn't resist saying that. Some of these you've got to pay back, others you don't. Some are means tested and asset tested, others aren't. Now, maybe I'm comparing apples and oranges here, but it seems crazy to think that our healthcare system right now appears to be in crisis without adequate funding, nurses not being hired, but you can still get money for a retaining wall. And a staggering 58% of all New Zealand families now claim working for families. It's effectively a transfer of your income tax back to you. 58% of families are there. It leaves very few New Zealanders paying all the tax for all those things I just mentioned. Maybe it is time to review a welfare system that appears to have maybe lost its way. I'm all for having a system there for people in need and in their time of need. You simply have to. But it looks and reads like a shopping list of options. I'm not saying being on a benefit's easy either. But seriously, why work and take responsibility for yourself when the government has a list of everything they'll do for you? They'll do everything but effectively wipe your ass.
Duncan Garner, live.
Okay, did you know that all those things are available, Isaac? Do you know you can access all those things?
I had no idea, actually.
Really?
Nah. I mean,
it's a lot, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a lot.
It's too much, eh?
I mean, vasectomies. One day, I'm sure I'll take that. I'll take that offer up.
If you have a few kids, you will, mate. No, but I'm just things like I don't know. What's there but wiping your ass? You know, everything's there.
Yeah.
Like,
very interesting,
yeah,
eh?
I reckon. Except we don't really have this debate about welfare. We just let it carry on. It gets bigger and bigger. But $42 billion a year, by far and away the largest spend.
Wow.
We spend more on that than health. We spend more on welfare than we do on health and education.
Yeah, that seems interesting to me. I mean, I can totally understand the need for it.
Yeah, of course.
Yep. But $42 billion is a lot of money.
Imagine if that was productive, you know. And the thing is, being on welfare is not a great life, you know. $42 billion doesn't go far. Everyone's poor, you know.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, and then when you consider education and health and that kind of thing, and it's almost the kind of thing like you can really start to kind of backtrack these kind of things. And if you are putting more money into your education system and your health system, you might find a couple of years down the line you then don't have to put as much money into your welfare system because with better education, people will start making smarter choices and healthier lifestyle choices, and same with health. And it's a big butterfly effect, and so you kind of have to think long term and think about the benefits of the country. And sometimes everyone having that get out of jail free card of, oh, don't worry, welfare will pay for it, definitely can come to bite you in the arse.
Yeah, no, well said. And also, if you put more money into GPs and primary sector healthcare, the first point of call, then you'll be seen, you'll be protected, looked after, and you may not have to go on to the sickness benefit because you've been looked after early.
Exactly.
Well said, brother. Well said. Nicely said. Really nicely said.
Duncan Garner, live.
All right, that is us. Thank you for your feedback and your support. Remember to get in touch with us, of course, through our social media, Duncan Garner Podcast on TikTok and Instagram, or flick me an email at duncan@rover.nz. We're going to make a thing of the feedback again. I'm going to have different categories, like, Wally and, the guy that's said nasty things, or the guy that said nicest things, and, So get your feedback in. Tell us what you think. It's also all across social media. There's avenues to do that, but also on the email, duncan@rover.nz. Just let me know. If you think I'm a tosser, let me know. You'll get a mention. To my team, thank you, guys. We'll do this again tomorrow. We'll do it on Monday. We'll do it on Monday. I'm having a holiday. Isaac and Lockie, thanks, mate. Appreciate it. Remember, life is no curtain raiser. There's no dress rehearsal. This is it. We live in one of the best places on earth, so get out and enjoy it. Have a great rest of the evening and weekend. Take care, New Zealand. Ta-da.
Duncan Garner, live.